So even if I made so not I, but even if you made £1 million profit, you can even authorize and just say, out of the million, I'm going to pay for £20,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That can be decided on an annual basis, right? Basically, it's maybe an example. That's fine. I think I get it. So it doesn't need to be mandatory dividend. It all depends on whether we can put the money back to the business, run it for a few years.
Exactly. And there is no such thing as a mandatory dividend. The dividends are proposed by the director, and the shareholders authorize it and done. So if you propose nothing, everybody gets nothing. If you propose that only Class B shares get it, only Class B shares get it. If you propose that Class A shares get, say, 30,000 and Class B gets 10,000, even that is entirely up to you how the dividends are paid out.
Correct. That's great. I think in that case, I think Dipak, I think to make it simple, because obviously, like I said to you last time, that there will be a couple of people, even I wanted to, allocate something for you and also other people, because obviously for now, I was looking at least when I speak to this lawyer, he mentioned, what they can able to create it, and also they just ask, what is the things like that, and I said, yeah, definitely Class B is something is good. At least we can able to people will have some we can create a new capital which is like maybe 1 million shares or something like that, and also we can issue a part of shares for us as we discuss about the value, right? And I think yeah, we can able to incorporate the standard articles like with no voting rights and rights to the dividends like that. And I think then we can always amend that as needed, right? And what needs to happen, Deepak? When I look at the company's online thing, is it something that you are okay to you can do that, or to creating that?
What do you mean to do? You mean to do the Class B shares?
No, creation of new share things like Class B shares, and then at least I'll tell you what it is. Currently we have 100 million shares at whatever the value it is. Like it's all going back to 100 pounds. We can able to either do this maybe 1 million shares at Class B and issue that as of that date in yeah.
Yes, so look, I can assist you in getting the Class B shares done, share allotments done, not a problem at all, yeah. Okay? That's all fine. But just coming back to what we were talking about earlier, your subdivision of shares.
Yes.
Now, I'm still a bit confused because when I looked at it, there was a subdivision of shares which was put in on the 1st of October. The one we spoke about a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, actually, I tell you that. Actually, what has happened is like he did a mistake in July. And basically, instead of 100 million shares, he had only issued 10 million shares, right, in July. And that's why he corrected back as of July. He submitted in October the 1st, and he made it 100 million as it is, as we planned and agreed. And that's what it is. And now if you look at it, it's like 100 million shares, ordinary shares, right? At 0.00001. And that's what I think when you ask the question, I think everything is okay there. I was also not sure, and he clarified me that, and I didn't come back to you. Sorry about that. I think on the ordinary B, what we need to do is that these guys can issue all the, the lawyer thing. Obviously these guys can able to allocate the shares to people and actually issue a confirmation statement. Everything they can do it. All we need is like maybe creation of this, what we call the new shares, basically, right?
And Class B shares.
Yeah, Class B shares, and exactly. I think, I could have done it. I didn't know where to start, and issue that in the company's online thing, right? And there should be some amendment of articles or something to be done also, right?
That's what I'm saying. I don't believe I didn't get a chance to look at your memorandum articles, but in my opinion, I don't believe that you will need to change the memorandum articles because the general memorandum usually lets you issue different types of shares.
Correct. I think you're right, because we have incorporated the standard articles. We haven't done anything. Obviously, when your companies incorporate, everything is standard, right? We have it. And obviously, I just want to make sure the issue of new capital with this ordinary B shares, maybe I will tell you exactly what could be the value, maybe 1 million shares with that value. And maybe we can look at that angle as well. And the reason why is that obviously
these Class B shares, are they going to be given free of charge? Are people going to subscribe to it? Is it for outside investors, or is it for your your team that's assisting you?
Yes. No, Class B is mainly for the team is assisting you and also assisting me, sorry, like some of the advisors and also the, yes, not for the investors because investors would expect Class A1 with voting rights, right? That will still stay the same and obviously, yeah.
Okay, but let me be very frank with you. So if you're giving the your core team members Class B shares,
yeah,
then be prepared for some people to fight their corner, because if somebody like I think I don't know if is Neil still on board or not.
Yeah, he's still there, and
okay. So now let's say we take. Sorry to interrupt you, but just listen to me. So let's say if we take Neil into example, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now he knows a little bit about shares because he apparently says he's done this before. Now, if it was me and you gave me Class B shares, okay, because I know exactly what Class B shares are going to be entitled to, I'll say, well, thank you, but no thank you. Because I know that at the end of the day, you control the dividends. You control how much I get paid. Yeah. So what I'm going to find out is, are you giving this Class A plus Class B, or is Class B purely to that team? Because if they don't question it, fine, we've got away with it, yeah? Yeah. But I'm saying, the question I'm posing to you, if they do decide to question it, how are we going to answer that?
I think that's a very valid question. I think you're right, because just to address like an example, like advisors, like maybe Neil or maybe there are other two members also on board, right, which is good. So what we are telling you is that like an example, Neil's case, initially he was not expecting any equity or anything, right? He was only asking for options, which means that he'll never be a shareholder in the company unless the company, when the company is sold in 4 years time or something like that, then he has an option to buy at this price. And also he might buy it at £1 and he can sell it for a hypothetically $500,000, right? An example. As an option. And that is an arrangement we had with him before. And I don't think he's challenging or he's expecting anything on that. And he's not really concerned, obviously, that he need to have an equity right now, because he thinks that if you give an equity, it's taxable, right? And we just want to make sure that we do these things so that I think for advisors we're keeping the same concept. People like
okay, so now you just said something that he's got a share option, right? So you issued him the option? No, that was the thing which we planning to do, share options. Obviously, that one for the share options, we haven't finalized about creating the unvesting, the vesting schedules and everything, right? This guy lawyer is preparing that kind of agreements and things like that. So at some stage it will happen. What I'm now at this time doing is that as a goodwill, and I'm actually giving instead of actually having the option, I'm just giving something for them so that at least they have something in the business, right? Which means that's the reason you're in the Class B shares, yeah?
Yes, yeah. Yeah. So obviously the voting rights, why I'm also holding on that is like if I currently there are 10 people, right? You know that, right? If I give like 10 people, what happens is like say an example, it's a very classic example, right? If your investor goes in, obviously some decisions about what who makes, like everyone gets an vote, and although have some kind of control interest in the company, but they would like to understand what everyone's contributions are, right? And usually, as you mentioned, like employees and advisors, they'll be in an option pool, which normally people don't see, right? Because the options will vest accordingly different times. And I just wanted to do something for the people beforehand, so that before the investor comes in, at least they'll be part of the business and their equity will rise subsequently, and also there'll be options also issued to them afterwards. That will be part of as you mentioned, Class A shares and things like that. Yeah. That was the kind of arrangement I was looking at, because otherwise having 12 13 people, I think it's kind of creates some kind of things in the investor side of it, right?
Got it. You just want them to feel part of the team by having some sort of shares in the company. It doesn't matter what it is, but it's just literally a token gesture, right?
Yes, exactly. And also that will be valuable, right? An example, the moment investor comes in, right? As you know, right? Already we are looking at 4 million valuation or something like that. And whatever they hold on, that will be not anymore 1 pence or 2 pence, right? It will be maybe 20,000 or 10,000, right?
The Class B will not. The Class A will. The Class B, remember, doesn't go up in value.
Okay. Class B doesn't take, is it?
It depends how you're going to structure it. If you're going to say the Class B is entitled to capital, but no dividend, yeah, we've got to be very careful that you don't, and remember that the Class A becomes a little diluted in terms of capital, doesn't it?
Correct, yes.
So we just got to be careful how we structure and play this.
Right, right. That's a very good thing what you mentioned about the cap. Yes, of course, my intentions are to give access to the capital also, of course, because otherwise, if you think there is no value for them, and it's just a token, right? And obviously, there has to be some monetization for people also that, in example, it just, it is some, is that what you mean? Is it when they say you can have a capital ordinary B with no voting rights, but access to capital and access to dividends, is it?
Yes. So what then happens is, let's say hypothetically, I've got 1 million shares, A shares, and I got 1 million B shares, and they're both entitled to equal capital, and my company's value is 10 million, then they're both going to get £5 each, aren't they?
Okay, both are equally, I understand what you mean. Okay.
Capital, so that's what I'm saying you got to be careful about.
Okay. So otherwise, if it is no capital, which means that it's only the dividends, is it? Basically, there is not much. I see. Okay, that was not what I intended, because I obviously my intention was just to give that the goodwill and also something for the people so that they can take something up front, and then that will be maybe however the multiples they can go after the first subsequent interest, right? And also,
see, Raj, again, there in terms of Class B, what you can do is maybe you can do a halfway house. So Class B is entitled to, say, the dividends.
Yeah.
Has no voting rights, but then only entitled to, say, a share of 20% of the capital or something like that.
Okay, not like 100%, maybe 20% or 50%.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. So which means that if Class A guys get 100, they will get 20% of it or something like that.
Yes.
Okay. That sounds a good way as well. Yeah. Okay, I understand. And also, is there an also option you mentioned that the Class B can also convert to Class A, right? At some stage, right? We can put that into.
We can do, but I can do the Class B shares, I can do the voting rights, but in terms of exercising them to become a Class A shareholder after a certain time, then what has to, let me go, Raj, I need to take this call from Iraq. Let me take this and call you back.
Okay, thanks, Dipak. Bye.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Sure.